What's up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. So yeah, I want to talk today about a concept here of not getting lazy, if you find it easy, especially when you're young. So what do I mean? When you're a young lad, when you're a young guy, teenager going into early 20s, if you find things like getting women and doing well for yourself easy and it all comes naturally, you've got good genetics and good social skills and yada yada yada, don't get lazy, guys. Don't just take that shit for granted, okay? Because here's what happens. Those guys that find shit easy, they get girls when they're younger. They go into the club and girls at school hooking them up, and at uni, and they go into the club, and it's a piece of cake for them. Everyone knows those guys, right? Genetically good, they got good hair. They don't necessarily train or anything, just very naturally good looking in the face, and girls like that stuff when they're younger. A lot of those guys, because it's easy, they don't put the work in, right? They don't try and improve. Or they reach a point where they were maybe working on themselves and it's easy and they slack off again. And what ends up happening, these guys they suddenly start reaching like mid to late 20s, and they're not getting as much attention and things aren't as easy as before. And the guys that weren't doing as well as them but were putting in the grind, were going to the gym, were working on themselves, were working on their looks and their businesses and side hustles and careers, etc. Suddenly those guys have overtaken them. And they're sitting there and they're like, what the fuck happened, man? What's going on? This stuff used to be so easy for me. And now they're struggling. And that's because they got lazy, because they didn't put in the work, because it was easy. They didn't continue to improve and go to the gym and focus on diet. A lot of them end up like overweight, man. There's so many guys that I know, I grew up with, they were really good looking guys when they were like 19, 20, my best friend, if he's watching this, man, he knows who he is, but my best friend, man, we were like 18, 19, 20. He was the biggest ladies man around. And he was so lazy. He never went gym, to be fair, but when he was younger, we played football a lot. He was pretty slim, and then he just stopped, went full-time work, just became overweight, lost his hair, and he looks an absolute state now. And it's sad, and it kind of happened to me a bit as well. When I was like 21, I started getting good attention from girls. I had a really successful couple of years. I moved to Cyprus, I met my wife, it was great. And then I slacked off, I slacked off a bit, and I stopped going to the gym. I wasn't playing tennis anymore, I wasn't professionally training, and the truth be told, my wife almost left me, right? She was like a couple of years, 2.5 years into our relationship, we were engaged at this point, and we went on a break, and she said, like, you got, one of the big things is you just lost your drive, your ambition. And so you can't get lazy. A men's peak should be around like 35. Okay, we've spoken about this before on this channel, and if you're a fan of First Man, you know all about the male advantage. If you're working on yourself when you're young, you're improving everything, you're going to the gym, you've got your diet on point, you're working on business and your career, around about the age of 35, that should be your peak. 35 to 45, really, arguably 50, those should be your best years, your peak years. Your finances are in check, fitness is in check, you look great, your style, you're well traveled, you're knowledgeable, etc., etc. And those guys that do that, they definitely overtake those guys who are lazy, who had it easy when they were young. And so if you are one of those guys and you're watching this, and it's a piece of cake to get girls, all right, and you're smart and you're clever, you can always improve. Don't matter if you're a 10 right now, you're 21 years of age, you're a 10 and you're getting 10s and you've got a good job, you can always get better. And trust me, guys, if you don't work on yourself, staying still is going backwards. So keep working on it, man, and know that your best years are still ahead of you. So can you imagine, you're doing well now, I'm 21, I'm doing really well now, imagine what it's going to be like when I'm 31, I'm 41, and I keep improving. So keep that in mind, guys. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Come on, let's get commenting. I'll reply to all of you. If you're not subscribed, I really appreciate you subscribe and check back in with the content if you enjoy it. Remember, guys, embrace that struggle.